World News Roundup, October 11th, 2025. Opening hook and intro. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, you've picked quite a day to join us. We've got government shutdowns, historic ceasefires, explosive accidents, and even some comets to brighten things up, literally. October 11th, 2025, and the world is not slowing down. I'm breaking down the top 9 stories you absolutely need to know about today. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's dive into what's happening around the globe. Let's get into it. Story 1. U.S. Government Shutdown. Starting here at home, and it's not good news for federal workers. The U.S. government shutdown has now stretched into its 10th day as of Friday, and there's no end in sight. We're looking at this thing dragging into at least another week. Here's what's happening. Republicans and Democrats are completely deadlocked over a spending plan, and while they argue it out in Washington, real people are paying the price. The Trump administration has already begun laying off thousands of federal workers. And if that wasn't stressful enough, military personnel are poised to miss their first paychecks next week. Think about that for a second. The people protecting our country might not be able to pay their rent. This is becoming one of the most serious shutdowns in recent memory, and with no compromise in sight, American families are stuck in limbo. We'll keep you updated as this develops. Story 2. Gaza ceasefire. Now to the Middle East, where there's some cautiously optimistic news. After months of devastating conflict, the Israeli military announced Friday that a ceasefire is now in effect in Gaza. Israeli forces are pulling back in accordance with a deal that was approved by the government overnight. This comes after the Israel-Hamas War has dominated headlines and caused immeasurable human suffering on both sides. The ceasefire was announced on October 10th, and the world is watching closely to see if it holds. Now I say cautiously optimistic, because we've seen ceasefires before that didn't last. But humanitarian organizations are already mobilizing to get aid into Gaza, where the civilian population has endured unimaginable hardship. This is a developing situation, and the details of the agreement are still emerging. Let's hope this one sticks and brings some peace to the region. North Korea military parade. Speaking of military news, let's head over to North Korea, where Jong Un just threw himself quite the party, and it's the kind of party that makes the rest of the world nervous. North Korea celebrated 80 years of the ruling Workers' Party of Korea with a massive military parade late Friday, and they didn't hold back. Images released online show off what appears to be a brand new hypersonic glide vehicle and new intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs for those keeping track at home. This is Jong Un flexing, plain and simple. The hypersonic technology is particularly concerning because these weapons are incredibly difficult to detect and intercept. An emboldened North Korea with advanced missile technology is definitely something the international community is going to be watching very closely. Classic North Korea. Can't have a birthday party without showing off some missiles, right? Story 4. DOJ indictment surprise. Back in the U.S., there's some major drama brewing at the Department of Justice. According to ABC News sources, Attorney General Pam Bondi and DOJ officials were completely caught off guard by an indictment from New York Attorney General Tish James. Now, the details are still pretty limited. This is breaking news territory, but the fact that the DOJ was blindsided tells you this is significant. Tish James, if you remember, has been a thorn in the side of various political figures, and she doesn't bring cases lightly. The fact that even the Attorney General didn't see this coming suggests some serious legal maneuvering behind the scenes. We don't have all the details yet, but trust me, this is one to watch. When the DOJ gets surprised, you know something big is going down. Story 5. Tennessee explosion. Now for a truly tragic story out of Tennessee. 19 people are missing after a massive blast rocked a military explosives plant in McEwen, Tennessee. The explosion happened at Accurate Energetic Systems, a facility that manufactures military-grade explosives. Humphreys County Sheriff Chris Davis, who's been in law enforcement for years, called this the most devastating scene that I've seen in my career. When a sheriff with that much experience says something like that, you know it's bad. Search and rescue operations are ongoing, but with 19 people still unaccounted for, families are facing an agonizing wait. This plant manufactured sensitive materials, which makes the rescue operation even more complex and dangerous. Our thoughts are absolutely with everyone affected by this tragedy. This is a small community, and something like this impacts everyone. Story 6. Switching gears to the tech world, where some serious concerns are bubbling up, pun intended, about artificial intelligence investments. Silicon Valley is starting to worry that we might be looking at an AI bubble that's ready to burst. According to a BBC report, the rapid rise in the value of AI tech companies has some experts nervous. There's this tangled web of deals happening where AI companies are all investing in each other, propping up valuations that might not reflect reality. Sound familiar? It should. We've seen this movie before with the dot-com bubble in the early 2000s. Companies with sky-high valuations, but no real path to profitability. Now, AI is absolutely transformative technology. Don't get me wrong. But when everyone's getting rich on paper and the deals are getting complicated, that's when smart investors start asking questions. Keep an eye on your tech portfolios, folks. Story 7. Double comet sighting. All right, let's lighten things up a bit with some cosmic news. If you've been feeling like the world is too heavy lately, look up. Literally. 2 greenish comets are streaking across the night sky this month, and they're visible from the northern hemisphere. These comets have the catchy names C2025A6, Lemon, and C2025R2, Swan. They're making their way through the inner solar system, and this is a relatively rare opportunity to see 2 comets at once. The greenish color comes from diatomic carbon and cyanogen gas in their atmospheres catching sunlight. Pretty cool, right? So if you're into stargazing or just need a reminder that there's beauty in the universe beyond all the chaos down here, grab a telescope or even a good pair of binoculars and check them out. Nature's Light Show, absolutely free. Story 8. Measles outbreaks. Back down to earth now, and we need to talk about a public health situation developing in the United States. Hundreds of students are being quarantined amid measles outbreaks, particularly in South Carolina and Minnesota. In upstate South Carolina, 153 unvaccinated children have been forced out of the classroom and into quarantine for a minimum of 21 days. Let me say that again, 21 days. That's 3 weeks of disrupted education, disrupted family life, and serious health concerns. Measles is no joke, folks. Before vaccines, this disease killed hundreds of thousands of people every year. It's highly contagious, one of the most contagious diseases we know of. If you're in a room with someone who has measles and you're not vaccinated, there's a 90% chance you'll get it. This outbreak is a direct result of declining vaccination rates in certain communities. And look, I know vaccination is a contentious topic for some, but the science is clear. Vaccines work, and measles is dangerous, especially for young children and people with compromised immune systems. This is a preventable disease, and yet here we are. Story 9. Morgan Stanley and Jefferies. And finally, let's wrap up with some financial news that's got Wall Street talking. Morgan Stanley's asset management business has asked to redeem some money from a Jefferies Financial Group fund called Point Bonita. Why does this matter? Well, this fund has large exposure to the trade debt of First Brands Group, an auto parts supplier that just went bankrupt. When a major player like Morgan Stanley starts pulling money out, it's usually a sign that they see trouble ahead. This is the kind of story that might seem like just insider finance stuff, but it can be an early warning sign of broader problems in the market. The auto industry has been struggling, and when suppliers start going bankrupt, it creates a ripple effect. Morgan Stanley is basically saying, we don't want to be holding the bag on this one. Smart investors are paying attention. Closing and call to action. And there you have it. 9 stories that are shaping our world right now on October 11th, 2025. From government shutdowns to cosmic light shows, from tragic explosions to hopeful ceasefires, it's been quite a day. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these stories concerns you the most? Are you worried about the government shutdown? Hopeful about the Gaza ceasefire? Or maybe you're planning to go comet watching this weekend? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one and love hearing your perspectives. If you found this roundup helpful, give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the algorithm show this content to more people who want to stay informed. And if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our news roundups. We do this regularly because staying informed matters, especially in times like these. Share this with someone who needs to catch up on what's happening in the world. Knowledge is power, and we're better citizens when we understand what's going on around us. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I'll see you in the next one. Stay informed, stay curious, and stay safe out there. Peace. Total runtime, approximately 8 minutes.